Hello, welcome to this video where I'm going to showcase you a graph of teams for Great League and Master Premier that we have in rotation this week in the Go Battle League, and I'll be using two of those teams. So you can find this on my X profile, also in Rise to Occasion video. These are some top American battlers. I basically based it a little bit on the 4th of July. I like to have a team when I ask some people and some battlers. We have it's Axon World Champion, Out of Pocket NAIC Champion, Auburn, a really good player who loves like Skarmy plus Watercore. And you always know it's coming. He's so good with it still. Mormon Matt, one of the, I would say, newer players. He showed up last year at a Play Pokemon tournament, got top 3 real quick. Reezy hit rank 1 on the leaderboard last week in the Go Battle League. So all of those have Feraligatr in the Great League, and Feraligatr is very meta. I think those are very good teams. We also have some Master Premier teams. This is Master League without any legendaries. We have from Kelsey, from Blazingly Blaze, and from NCK. We see Annihilape everywhere here. I'm very excited to try out some of these teams and some of these Pokemon. I'll be trying out 2 Great League teams here from its Accent and Out of Pocket. So let's take a look. Game number 1, we lead Altaria into Skarmory. Pretty bad lead, I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna go into the Feraligatr, and let's see what they have to answer. It is a Goodra. I'm gonna call their bluff, gonna go for an Ice Beam here. They need to go for Thunder Punch to knock me out, because Dragon Breath plus Aqua Tail will not do the job. They do shield that. If they come with a Dragonair, I actually can just win the one straight Hydro Cannon. But let's see what they do now. The unfortunate thing is, if I no shield this Aqua Tail, they know the next one's a Hydro Cannon. So let's say I went for the Hydro Cannon first, then I could have went for Ice Beam now. But that is what it is. Maybe they went for Thunder Punch if I did that. This will get the Goodra very low, though. I should wait the clock here. In another battle, I didn't do that, and that cost me. But this time, I do wait out the clock. Because then I can swap in my Whiscash into the Skarmory. I don't want to stay too long in the matchup, because I feel like Altaria is just like... I don't know, like a naked bird there. It's just not great into Skarmory. I'm gonna go for the Scald. The opponent stays in, probably looking to take a shield and then swap out. But if I land the Scald, the Altaria actually becomes okay in this matchup. I'm gonna shield this, probably. Maybe not. Maybe not. I remember now. Because the reason is, since they're staying in, I feel like they're either very strong into Altaria anyway, so I need 2 shields up on that regardless. Or Altaria in the back just sweeps the 2 shields. It would kind of suck if it's like a Bastard on the back, but it's not really what I'm expecting here. Gonna go for an entire Altaria sweep. Let's see what's in the back. Gonna get the Dragon Breath down here. No, they get to another charge stack, unfortunately. Now I'm really curious. I'm very confident Altaria can do this here. And in the back is a Spark Lantern. I'm like, wait, let this Pokemon go, man. It's nerfed. But it explains why they stayed in against that Whiscash. They kind of had to. Whiscash was kind of difficult for them in the first place. Team is also a little bit weak to Charger Bug. I will be running that later, but not this time. There were some teams with like Skarmory lead and then a solid water type that's weak to Charger Bug in the back. Which is a little bit difficult, but oh well. Altaria is going to clean up here. Really only Bastiodon or maybe even a Registeel could have stopped me there, but not these Pokemon. Game number 2, leading Altaria into Annihilape. This is a great matchup. I have no Pokemon on my team that's really weak to this, although I must say, I don't really enjoy being the Feraligatr or the Whiscash in that matchup. They stay in, probably going for a Shadow Ball. I'm using a high-rank Altaria in this team, which means that the Annihilape should not do any more damage than usual. And in that case, they should not be able to just counter me down. They go for a nice edge anyway, so that's great. They don't get a boost, even better. They should be on Shadow Ball now, so I'm going to shield that up, just win this matchup. The 1 shields, which is a pretty good matchup here. They go for a Night Slash, but they don't even get to another attack. They do get the boost there. That's great for them, but not going to do anything. So they come in with probably a Zoomer or something. Let's see what comes in. Or is it Gligar? It is Gligar. I'm actually not super happy with this, because both my Pokemon in the back are Water-type Pokemon, but they still don't do super well into Gligar. Feraligatr is kind of iffy when it's behind 1 fast attack here. The less shields are in play, the better it becomes, but went for Sky-type because I think I could get 2 here. Gonna go into the Feraligatr now. Actually into the Whiscash to take the energy. And then I want to sweep with the Feraligatr. That is the plan. What could be in the back? It's an Annihilape, Gligar, maybe it's a Skarmory or something. I'm not sure. It has to be something weak to the Altaria. It has to be something weak to Altaria, I would assume, right? I'm gonna get a perfect farm down here, and then my opponent leaves the battle. I think it was like a Whiscash or something, because it had to be something weak to Altaria in the back. That's why they stay with the Annihilape, I would assume. Game number 3. Altaria into Charger Bug. This is a very good lead for Altaria, and the opponent knows that. They go into Poliwrath. This is my good friend, San Judiro. I'm going to go into Feraligatr. You may ask yourself, why would you swap this in? Feraligatr is a terrible matchup into Poliwrath. That is because I have 2 answers to that Charger Bug. I have both Whiscash and Altaria. Although I must say, Whiscash is so an answer. You resist the Volt Switch, but like 2 Accessor should knock out Whiscash with a couple Volt Switch regardless. Now let's go. Hopefully can get a good farm down on that Altaria. I'm expecting something like a Relegate in the back maybe. Or Whiscash. Hopefully not Azumarill. Again, the team is a little bit soft to Azumarill. In fact, Feraligatr is my best answer to Azumarill. It is Azumarill though. I'm going to go for a Sky Attack here. I want to get out of this matchup, go into my Whiscash, keep them a little bit stuck, because if they're behind on energy with that Charge Bug, they actually do switch in the Charge Bug here. I'm not sure if Charge Bug does worse here or against the Altaria. You're actually going to find out now. So Charge Bug is not that bad in this matchup. It really isn't. They shield the first attack. I want to go straight Scald here, because I think with Mud Shots and with the Scald damage, I might be able to Mud Shot down, maybe Dragon Breath it down. I don't really want to use shields, because if my Altaria is prone to that Ice Beam, the game is probably over. Even though Altaria already doesn't do much in that matchup. They go for another Axis here. My next Scald should not knock out, but it should get very, very close. You could also go straight Mud Bomb in this matchup, but they need 2 attacks regardless. I think now I can Scald and then maybe Mud Shot down. Yeah, as you can see there. They swap into Azumarill expecting me to switch, but I didn't though. The animations are very annoying here, so I don't know when to throw my attack. Hopefully this bubble doesn't knock out. I have 2 Mud Bomb here, so that's big. And then another Sky Attack should knock out. I am almost at that Sky Attack. But man, if they have Ice Beam, they just throw 1 and then 1 bubble for the next one, so I might not be able to get there. But they expected me to switch immediately, so they threw immediately. There was not really a reason to do that. They also have Play Rough, not even Ice Beam, so that means that I will be able to just get the Sky Attack here. They probably have Hydro Pump as a second charge stack, like Bastiodon, because that would make sense, and that is game over. Game number 4, Altaria into Annihilape again. Again, don't hate this lead, and I'm fine with my backline on it as well. So let's see. They go for, I think they went to an Ice Punch here. I'm like, well, hit me if you have it. One Ice Punch should knock out anyway. They have Nice though, and then go into Lickitung. This is scary, because my backline sucks against Lickitung. Feraligatr doesn't do well. Whiscash doesn't do well. But, like I said earlier, my backline also doesn't really struggle with Annihilape. It is 1 counter ahead though. And Feraligatr generally loses Charge Attack Priority against it. So what I want to try is get an energy advantage on my own Feraligatr in case they come back in with that Annihilape. And if it's Gligar in the back, they have to come with the Annihilape. So let's see. I didn't undercharge there, and it's actually the perfect undercharge. I could have been maybe a little bit even better, but I got 2 Shadow Claw here. And why the reason why it's perfect, because now I'm ahead of this Annihilape, so I should be able to get to my charge attack before them. Let's see what they do here. Shadow Claws also are super effective, so if they shield 1, I might be able to farm down entirely. I could also just double shield. There you go. Try and get charge attack priority here. I'm not falling for that. Gonna shield this up though. And this might very long knock out, but I don't wanna let it go. Gonna catch the next one, and then we'll see what is in the back. It could also very well be a Bastiodon or something, trying to bait out the fighting type with the Lickitung. And we're not gonna find out my opponent top lefts. Game number 5, Altaria into Skarmy. Again, not a great lead. I'm gonna go into my Feraligatr. I don't need to stay in the matchup with my Altaria. They swap in eventually into Dragonair. Again, I like calling the bluff here. Just gonna go for the Ice Beam. I honestly should go straight Hydro though, but they can throw before my second attack anyway, so not exactly. I don't exactly need to do that. They get Charge Attack Priority, very smart. Am I gonna take 1 or 2 shield advantage? Just 1. But I make the mistake here that I did not make in the other game. I did not wait the clock. They even throw another charge stack, so which stalls the clock. But if I waited my clock, I could have swapped into the Whiscash right here. And now, Altaria just feels like a naked bird here, right? It's just so prone to that Sky Attack. I don't even throw my attack here, so it's not even in Scald range now. Can't even make it more difficult for my Whiscash. I need another Spark Lantern in the back, and even then, that will be close. Let's see. I'm wary of them trying to catch, perhaps. Gonna shield the first attack here. Really comes down to what's in the back at this point. I'm not exactly expecting Feraligatr or Azumarill, because that'd be crazy weak to Charge a Bug. But it could very well be. Scald, and then Mud Bomb should knock out this Skarmy. I should throw before his next attack, which I'm gonna do. 1 before the next one. Because if I throw the Charge Attack Priority, they might shield, and I have to shield as well, which I didn't want to do just yet. They have Azumarill on the back. At this point, it looks kind of over. They actually are ABA weak to that Charge a Bug. Or even Magnezone, as my friend Paolo would say. But yeah, this is looking just very dire. I'm going to try get a Scald debuff. Maybe then I live a Play Rough, but it does not even matter. Like, I'm going to need 3 more charge stacks at least. Because they have a shield and I need 2 Mud Bomb to knock out here. There's no way that I can do anything with that. So that is a good game. I think I could have won this if I waited the clock, because then I could have preserved all that Altaria energy. The second team that I'm going to try is a team from Out of Pocket, the NAIC champion. He really likes that non-shadow Feraligatr. I'm not exactly sold on it, but I'm definitely down to make it work. This team is kind of ABA electric, although Goodra is a dragon Pokemon. It has some electric coverage, so it's very strong into Skarmy in particular, just because you have Thunder Punch, you cover it a little bit better as well. Let's take a look at how this goes. I like this team. It's pretty balanced, though. This lead is actually in favor of Charjabug. Both Pokemon deal resistant damage all over the place, but Charjabug is a little bit faster and a little bit bulkier, so it actually does quite well there. I'm trying to get a Charge Attack Purity, but my opponent trying not to fall for that, because then one Exos would not knock them out. But they're actually going to go for the same result regardless, because they land one Wild Charge here and then let this Magnezone go, and in that case it basically would have done the same, because I would not have shielded that Wild Charge either way. Now X-Scissor knocks them out. I would expect a Water type in the back. Gonna swap him my Feraligatr, because I'm not great into this Trevenant. And this is where Shadow Feraligatr definitely will be better, because Shadow Claw would just chunk way more on that Trevenant. I need fast attack pressure to take this Pokemon out. My Goodra also doesn't do great here. It does with Shields up, I guess. But my Charge Attacks don't do much on even the fragile Trevenant. So not gonna go for Charge Attack Purity here. I know I can lose that. I probably lose that. They have like 5 or 6 higher attack. Let's see what they do. They swap in Gallade. Well, if you ask me what do you think of the back, my answer would not have been Gallade. It's a little bit of a forgotten Pokemon. Also got a moveset update in Psycho Cut. And close combat is... There's not a lot of Pokemon that can take a neutral close combat here. I don't think Goodra is one of them. My opponent has been playing very smart, so I'm going to predict they won't throw immediately. They need 5 Psycho Cuts. I'm going to swap on 6. That will be Charge Attack Purity. And I'm actually able to catch the attack like that. So sometimes you need to predict your opponent a little bit. They need now 4 for the next close combat. But because they're debuffed, the Dragon Rage will do way too much. And I win the battle. I have an Aqua Tail loaded. And that wins me the game. Game number 2. I lead Charjabug into Swampert. Not a great lead. Gonna go in for Alligator. This is kind of awkward for them. They have to go for a full Earthquake. But they're gonna go for the Hydro Cannon. And because I'm non-Shadow for Alligator, I can take this damage, kinda. I'm still in the yellow. In comes a Tentacruel. Now, if I had Crunch here, that would have been much better. But I like Ice Beam for dragons more in general. I think Crunch also has good play, though. Especially like the Mirror, which Feraligatr is kind of a common Pokemon right now. However, because I'm non-Shadow Feraligatr, I will be able to get to another Hydro Cannon here. And I think they have to respect that. So, do they have to throw? Maybe they could have jabbed me down after one more. I'm not too sure. They didn't want to take that risk. Looks like gonna go for the Acid Spray. Now I can farm down with the Charjabug. So, one thing about that Swampert, Swampert has very low defense compared to like Whiscash or Quagsire. So, an X-Scissor does like, I think 50% if not more. So, I will throw that energy. And I want to get rid of that energy, just in case I farm something else down later. There could very well be a Skarmory in the back when you see a Swampert, Quagsire, or Whiscash lead. So, throw the X-Scissor, go into the Goodra, and then hopefully bidding that out. They're gonna go for another Hydro Cannon here, which is obnoxious. If it's like an Annihilate, I kind of want to shield this, so I will shield this. But in the back is a Skarmory. I have an energy lead, though. If I get one shield here, I think I should be fine. My opponent's also going to make a misplay by not throwing that Sky Attack, because if they do that, I will be very afraid. I'm not sure if that will win them the battle regardless. They actually shield immediately. Like, at this point, I wouldn't shield regardless. Because I want to farm down with Charjabug and shield the Charjabug. And because they don't throw the energy, pressure my shield. Like, that choice is easily made for me. He's already so low. I can just keep the shield for Charjabug, get to an X-Scissor on the Swampert, and that should win me this battle. Let's see, because Steel Wing are resisted here. They didn't do as much. You do you. It is a Brave Bird. The Volt Switch might actually knock out. It doesn't. They need, I think, 4 matches or 5 matches for the next one. So if this does knock out and the next 2 Volt Switch, then I have 2 more Volt Switches to knock them out. But X-Scissor does like 50%, like I said. And that wins me the battle. Game number 3, Charjabug into Alolan Sandslash. I need to get rid of this here because Goodra is bad against this. But what I'm afraid of is an Azumarill. Azumarill is very commonly paired with Sandslash. The team from A Mind Joke is, I believe, Alolan Sandslash, Azumarill, and Annihilate. And in that case, it's going to become very hard if I don't get rid of this. Like, Annihilate in general is quite tough. Also because I'm non-Shadow Feraligatr, my Hydro Cannon is not as threatening. They go for the Duron, which is a mistake. 2 Ice Punch will knock out here, but I guess in the 2 Shield, maybe you can just Duron and farm down. I'm not gonna play the 2 Shield though, but now they don't get to a Charge Stack right here. So great, I come out with a full Hydro Cannon. Let's see what's in the back. Dark is a Pelipper, definitely not what I expect. This is not that great of a matchup for Pelipper, to be honest, because Pelipper has to go all the way to Hurricane to threaten me. Mantine does this matchup way better. Mantine has a pretty good matchup into Feraligatr. I went for a bait, they didn't fall for it. I don't really care. 2 Hydro can already get some solo. I can farm down at this point. So I'm just gonna shield 1 attack here. They bait will be unfortunate. They will throw another Winnable. They wouldn't get to another Hurricane, so Allah, let's see what it is in the back now. I need a good matchup because going shield down, Feraligatr almost down as well. It's a Skeledirge. Well, there's my good matchup. It's interesting that they didn't even care about that Pelipper there. I have Goodra on the back, which has a fine matchup here. And listen, my opponent makes a slight mistake here. I wouldn't call it a mistake, it's more a knowledge thing. Shadow Ball is less efficient than Disarming Voice, but does about like 5 or 6 more damage. You're gonna see how low this Disarming Voice is gonna get me, and then you wonder, if he went Shadow Ball, that may have knocked me out after that Incinerate. May have knocked me out. May have knocked me out. I think it would have knocked me out. That might be very well 6 HP there. And then I knock out the Skeledirge and Pelipper, so that's game. Game number 4, Charjabug into Venusaur. Oh, this match is so scuffed. Alright, so this is an okay matchup for Charjabug, just because I'm a little bit bulkier, but both deal resistant damage all the time to each other. The only thing that's neutral are the charge stacks in the end. X-Scissor, doing a good chunk to Venusaur. I kind of need to get rid of Venusaur here. I get a full Volt Switch through. Terrible time for my opponent. But now look at this. I'm like, okay, they need like this amount of... they need one more for a Sludge Ball. And because I'm waiting, because I don't want them to catch, they throw a Frenzy Plant. Which make... And this is a moment where I'm like, crap, I'm screwed. I'm so screwed. The reason why, they're going to have a Water type in the back. If that's Azumarill or like a Water Ice type in the back, I'm in trouble. They get Charge Stack Purity. I'm just going to let this go. I shouldn't lose this, but oh well. We're going to get a farm down on our backline. Gonna go into Goodra to farm this down. I'm afraid that they might get to an attack on the Feraligatr. Probably not though, but they come with Dewgong. I swap immediately. Need to get out of that matchup. That's a terrible match for the Goodra. You can make the one-shots close, honestly, but I don't need to. I'm gonna go straight Hydro Cannon. It's not that great either. This is also where Shadow Feraligatr does better, because you feint to Juron regardless, and your Shadow Claw just adds up more. So far, the non-Shadow Feraligatr has done some things, but I'm not super convinced by it just yet. What I also found out the other day is, if Shadow Feraligatr safe switches, throws a Hydro Cannon into Charjabug and is no shielded, they can double shield and farm down. So Feraligatr could flip Charjabug, but non-Shadow doesn't have that power exactly. Anyway, Goodra farming it down in the back Salon Sash. This is very much over, because Goodra cannot get past this Pokemon really. Dragon Bats are adding up even though they're resisted, but I need 3 Charge Stacks here, he only needs 2. So unless he's like gonna make a field catch, or I don't know, that's not winnable for them. It was kind of risky of them to stay into the Charjabug lead, because if I had Annihilape in the back, it would have been tough for them. But if I lead Charjabug with a fighter in the back, I'm super weak to Vigoroth, so that would be an unlikely composition. Anyway, good game. Well, I mean, at least was scuffed, but oh well. And then the last game with this team, Charjabug into Whiscash. Let's see how this is gonna go. Feraligatr safe switch, let's see what they do. They throw a Mob Bomb first. This makes me think of that Swampert lead that we had earlier. Just throwing an attack and then dipping. Let's see what they have here. They have a Tentacruel again. Is it the same team? Let's see. Hydro Cannon here. Again, this is where Crunch will be a little bit better. If you get like a debuff, then your next Crunch would threaten them. I'm gonna go for another Hydro. But we know that against non-Shadow Feraligatr, I can get to another one, so they have to throw here. So I guess non-Shadow Feraligatr has that going for it. And again, my opponent, good counting. They throw an attack here. This makes me feel like, should I say switch Goodra into like Whiscash teams? If it's like an Azumarill in the back, I just died though. So unfortunately, they get to an attack. I mean, I don't really value my Charjabug at this point anyway. I mean, it would be nice to, you know, have the HP for the Whiscash later, but oh well. And again, I'll throw the X's in here just because if I have too much energy in the end game, I need to farm more, right? I don't want to go over 100 energy ever if I want to, like, somehow farm down a Skarmy and try to win this. But as you can see, Whiscash is bulkier, so it can take that much easier. It's almost getting in X's range, though. I'm going to let this go. With Skarmy, though, I think it's kind of over. Because there's 2 shields in play. He can probably even farm me down if he really wants to. Let's see what I can do here. In fact, if they keep shields for the Whiscash, it's definitely not really playable. They throw immediately as well. Maybe my play is to no shield farm down. But what I'm afraid of is that I just feint to like Steel Wings plus Mud Shot. So I'm not exactly sure how to play this out. It's gonna go for another Thunder Punch to get a shield. But now they farm me down. And look at the clock. My clock is almost up. That means their clock is almost up after 1 Charge Stick, which I can throw here. I need to get the entire farm down. But with this Brave Bird, this will actually knock out... The Vultures will actually knock out the Skarmy now. And now I need too much energy to get to this 2 X's here. I was pretty close somewhat. Maybe my play was to no shield the Goodra and just get so much energy on that Pokemon. So I went 3-2 with that team. not super great. But hey, we get a shiny Alolan Marowak, so at least there's that. So those were the battles with 2 teams that I featured from this graphic. You can find this on my X profile as well in the Rise to Occasion video. So yeah, hope you liked the video and the teams. Make sure you check out them if you want to see more of them. And see you in the next video. Bye.